Thank you, Angela. Members of the graduating class, families, and friends, on behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration, welcome to the 135th commencement exercises of the University of Connecticut. This marks the 75th anniversary of the Graduate School at the University of Connecticut, a tradition of excellence that grows stronger every year. Thank you. My name is Michael Derry. I am the University Marshal, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies at this occasion today. Thank you for all coming. We appreciate it. Now, all of you that have cell phones, how many have cell phones that play a nice musical note? Well, we appreciate the music, but we have an organist and music, so please put your cell phones on mute. Thank you. If you plan on taking photographs, please stay behind the bars in the mezzanine level, or if you're on the lower levels, please stay in your seats. Nobody's allowed on the floor except the professional photographers we have that are taking care of the ceremony. Other than that, you can get photographs after the ceremony is over. So please, out of respect for the candidates, follow that. Now, will the audience please be seated? I guess you are. Nah, let's just see if you're paying attention. All right, what we need to do is have you stand now, please. We will have MFA candidate Sarah Wittenmeyer sing the national anthem. Will all gentlemen please remove their hats?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Sarah. That was beautiful. Now you can be seated. At this point, I would like all of the members of the university's administration, deans of the schools and colleges, please rise so you may be recognized. We're not going to read everyone's name for time, but please stand and be recognized. Thank you. And now it is my privilege to introduce the Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, Moon Choi. Moon.
Thank you. Welcome to the University of Connecticut. Not only to our graduates, but also to all of the mothers and grandmothers. This is also a very special day for you. As you know, graduate students are the lifeblood of this great research university. They made tremendous contributions to our research and teaching, and so we're very proud to celebrate with them this very special occasion. And we wish every one of you the very best of success in your chosen field. Now it's my pleasure to recognize and introduce members of the Board of Trustees who have joined us today. First, Chairman of the Board, Lawrence McHugh. Richard Carbray. Michael Daniels. Their commitment to our university has been instrumental for our growth as an institution. So once again, graduates, congratulations. We wish you the very best to the class of 2014.
It is a long-standing academic custom that those who have excelled in science, letters, the arts, or who have served humanity through writing or their acts should be appropriately honored. Today, the university is to award one honorary doctorate at this ceremony. The citation will be presented and the degree will be conferred by the president of the university, Susan Herbst. The candidate will then be presented by the honorary Hooding Marshal, Sally Reese. Professor Reese.
Liza Donnelly. In its highest form, humor moves us to action. Humor makes us think and stirs the soul. Your work reaches globally and moves us to understand our relationships with others. You have said, humor relies on the traditions of a society. It takes what we know and it twists it. Because women are on the ground floor and we know the traditions so well, we can bring a different voice to the table. After receiving your liberal arts degree from Earlham College in Indiana, you moved to New York to work at the American Museum of Natural History in the art department, never giving up your childhood love of drawing. After submitting numerous works to the New Yorker, you became one of the 3 women cartoonists published in the 1980s. In 2006, you were invited to join the United Nations Initiative for Cartooning Peace. Initiated after the global attention of the caricatures of the Prophet Muhammad in 2006, the traveling exhibition has been to Geneva, Paris, Brussels, and Antibes in the hope of exploring the power and responsibility of the art form. You are a cultural envoy for the U.S. State Department, speaking about freedom of speech, cartoons, and women's rights. Having been widely published online and in print publications, as well as been profiled on television and radio, you've challenged society to think of our common experience. That as humans, we can share a laugh, no matter how briefly, and forget what it was we were disagreeing about. You've published over 15 books in children's literature, women's issues, relationships, and politics. You've documented the history of women in New Yorker cartoons as both as writers and subjects. As a professor at Vassar College, you've influenced the next generation to American culture. You've influenced the next generation to American culture and feminism through cartoons and dialogue on current issues. Liza Donnelly, for your sustained and important accomplishments across your career, leadership in art and peace, and commitment to enhancing women's experience globally, we bestow upon you today this honorary degree. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of the University of Connecticut, and in accordance with the procedures and regulations of the university, it is my special pleasure to confer upon you this day, May 10th, 2014, the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts with all the appropriate rights, responsibilities, and distinctions pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Wow, hello. Thank you, President Herbst. Need my glasses. Thank you, President Herbst. That was a wonderful introduction. And thank you to the Board of Trustees for this amazing honor, and to Dean Halsinger. And hello, distinguished faculty, parents, guests, and congratulations to the soon-to-be graduates. This is your day, and it's exciting. I can feel the energy in the room. Congratulations. Now, don't forget to take your robes off when you go for that job interview. You got to take it off. It's such a great day, and you are to be celebrated. I know that you all have worked so hard, some of you for years, to get the degrees you're about to receive. And I'm extremely happy to be here. I'm happy. I'm honored that UConn was able to think outside of the box and invite a cartoonist to be here. So I imagine you're wondering what I'm going to do. Am I going to draw? Am I going to tell jokes? What exactly is the skill set of a cartoonist? And it is curious, and to be honest, like you, I wonder why I'm here. Why me? Is it because my cartoonist husband, Michael Maslin, graduated from UConn? Is it? Yes, he deserves it. He's over there. Is it because I've come to Connecticut a couple of times? Note previous comment about husband. Now you guys know I work for the New Yorker, right? I don't work for the Connecticuter. But whatever your reason for inviting me, I'm thrilled that I finally get to wear the kind of fancy robe that for years I've drawn in cartoons. Now, my graduating class from Earlham chose not to wear robes, and I was really disappointed. So this is my first time wearing one of these things. And but I know what they look like. I've drawn them many times. I've done my share of graduation cartoons because, frankly, graduations are funny, right? Don't you agree? I mean, they're funny. If you step back and look at them, I could not have done a better job making up these hats, for one thing. I want one of them. I get one of them, right? And then what else is funny is, secondly, you have your family. You've got the out-of-control uncle, the alluring and random cousin that's coming, and of course, your parents. Your parents, the ones that are so proud of you, yet so hopeful that you don't move back home. And then you have the professors. How in the world did you manage to survive all those professorial personalities, those tenured and tenure-track personalities who rarely see the light of day? But you've made it, and it's such a treat. It's really a treat to be here. We're all living a cartoon together. Now, you may find this funny, but cartoonists have rules to live by, believe it or not. And because you've given me the honor of this degree, I thought it only fitting that I pass along some of our secrets. First, always have an eraser because you will make mistakes. 2, realize that mistakes are sometimes the best part of life. I mean, not life, but of the drawing. And this one might be hard for you guys because it's the opposite of what you've been doing for the last 2 or 4 or 8 years, is to know a little bit about a lot of things. Now, I've been doing this job for over 30 years, and I can assure you that I know a great deal about very little, and very little about a great deal. But that's the beauty of working as a cartoonist. Cartoonists need the freedom to explore and do a lot with a little, because it's our job to try to make almost everybody laugh. No small task, let me tell you. But luckily, the New Yorker gives us the freedom we want. A cartoonist survives and thrives on constantly educating herself. So you're probably thinking that humorists, such as myself, come from a troubled background, that humor comes from that deep, dark place with spiders and creepy people and, in other words, despair. Sorry to disappoint you, I came from a typical upper-middle-class family with a dog, a cat, 2 parents, a TV, and, of course, a guinea pig. And like a million other such homes, my education was something my family valued. There was a photo in our house of my great-great-grandfather. His name was Edward Ressler, and he was apparently a very nice man, but he was quite a sour-looking man, and he was a school teacher. And I was told repeatedly that, quote, this man was responsible for bringing education to our family. He was the guy who made our family realize it was important, unquote. So I knew from that comment, well, education was important. That in our family it had a starting point with grandfather Ressler, and by God, it was not going to stop. So Liza, you better follow on in that tradition. I tell you this because the beauty of this is that I became a cartoonist. You're wondering, how did she buck the tradition? How did she become a cartoonist and just get 1 degree? Now 2. Growing up, I was painfully shy. If someone looked at me, I would cower. If someone asked me to speak, I might crumble. The whole family was worried. I wasn't particularly worried because I knew how to draw. I drew from an early age, and at around 7, I discovered a book by James Thurber, the great New Yorker cartoonist and writer. And like many of us at age 7, I copied. I traced his work. His beautiful, simple drawing style, childlike drawings, and soon I developed my own style of drawing. And what happened was I found my way to communicate with the world without having to say a word. My work spoke for me, and this was my ticket into the world. But I didn't get there alone. Okay, I know what you're thinking. This is all very nice, Liza, but you're 5 minutes into your speech. When are you going to mention basketball? I was actually looking forward to it. I mean, how many times does a cartoonist get to talk to 9,000 people about basketball? So here's some basketball advice from someone who knows, in good cartoonist tradition, next to nothing about basketball. I did watch those 2 final games, those amazing games, so I'm well aware of what happened. It was fantastic. Yes. Right here, right? Happened right here. I'm honored. Anyway, here are my thoughts about basketball. Rules to live by. Don't elbow your neighbor, or don't get caught doing it. Losing can lead to winning. Don't worry, you will make a remarkable comeback. Take time to enjoy the lacing up or Velcroing of your shoes. If you're going to dribble, make sure you do it on a basketball court. And listen. Wait a minute, listen. You're thinking, listen, what does that have to do with basketball? I mean, I guess you're supposed to listen to your coach, right? But listen is really not about basketball, is it? And I know, but it's the main thing I want to tell you today, and I thought I'd just sneak it in there. My father used to say to me, my main job as a doctor, as a medical doctor, is to listen to people. And it was true. As a medical doctor, he had to understand and listen to his patients to know what was wrong with them. As with his patients, my father listened to me patiently. Even when I didn't speak, he heard me. By doing so, he let me find out what it was I wanted to do and then quietly supported me. I was given the space to find out who I was, encouraged to be myself and find out who that self is. It's tough. It's tough out there. There's a lot of pressure on us. And I'm sure you have people all around you who are expecting a lot from you. I know I am, and I don't even know you. It starts when we're young. When I was little, the family joke was that my father had wanted a boy. He took me to baseball games, golfing, bird watching, fishing, all things that in the 50s and 60s was just not a typical thing to do with a little girl. I loved it. And what I learned through osmosis was that gender expectations for me were not to be taken seriously. Yes, this was difficult a little later on in high school to deal with, but in the end, this attitude towards gender expectations helped me become my own person and not necessarily be what society expected of me. I learned how to be a rebel within the confines of respectability, how to push back at the rules just a little bit and explore a different path. But the world is moving so fast and is so loud, how does one know what path to take? Now, I know I'm constantly bombarded with information and videos and news and sound and people talking and yelling and singing and laughing and crying. I love all that, actually. As a cartoonist's job, we are supposed to listen to all that noise. We have to know what's going on, to know what to draw or write about. We follow trends, news stories, cute kitty videos, memes, pundits, viral phenomena. By the way, I love Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Because we need to know what's happening. I know in the morning, I get a little frantic and get sucked into my computer, don't you? Trying to find out what's going on, trying to find out what's happening. How many cable channels do you have? I think we have 976 or something. How many pundits, reality shows, 24 newscasts, podcasts, videocasts can a person pay attention to? It's really insane. But once I listen to all that, watch all that, I shut it off and I listen to myself think and try to get at the meat of it all and try to find out its essence. What are we doing? Why are we doing it? And what is funny about it? Or better yet, how can I express what it all means? So it might be good to every now and then shut it all off and listen. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself think. It's not easy, I know. You might hear things you don't like. I know. But find out who you are and who you are not. Realize that you are not necessarily who society or parents or teachers or siblings or Oprah or Rachel Maddow or Rush Limbaugh or Martha Stewart or Joe Biden, you name it, want you to be. Listen and find out who you are and not who they want you to be. Then, when you have spent time listening to yourself, listen to others. It's good to listen to others up to a point. This is not new to you. I'm sure your grade school teachers drummed that into you. But don't listen to find out what others want you to be. And as someone said, don't listen to respond, listen to understand. This kind of deep listening can help you learn to hear others' voices. The world is becoming flat. Now, to be honest with you, I don't really understand that metaphor. I never have. But if Thomas Friedman of the New York Times says it, it must mean something. But it's true, we can now communicate with everyone everywhere in an instant. That's why it's important to understand that truths come in different packages. I don't have the truth, you don't have the truth, they don't have the truth. Each truth is unique to each individual. Now, I've been fortunate, very fortunate, to travel and meet cartoonists from many different countries. I've discovered that as we communicate through our art, we all share the love of drawing, laughter, freedom of expression, and peace, even though we don't speak the same language. Just last week, I met a Syrian cartoonist who was seeking asylum for himself and his young family in Switzerland because his life is threatened in Syria and Lebanon over the imagery he draws. And I talked with an Egyptian woman cartoonist who struggles in her work, and I imagine in her daily life, to overcome systemic and shifting cultural and political sexism. Since the Danish cartoon controversy in 2005, where many people were killed, we know the power of cartoons. As cartoonists, we challenge the status quo, and many of us feel it our duty to expose injustice. But we also have a duty, I believe, to be careful and to listen. My work is based on ingrained social behavior and culture, and American culture in my case. It's what I know. I cannot draw a cartoon about what it means to be a woman in Iran. But an Iranian woman cartoonist can do that, and there are a few, believe it or not. By observing, I can try to find the commonality between the two cultures, the commonality of what it means to be a woman in these two places, and there are some commonalities. What I believe is that women, all people, should be allowed to create what they want to create, say what they want to say, to be who they want to be, free of expectations from society or outsiders as to who they're supposed to be. But if we're to help them, we have to listen and observe them. They aren't going to necessarily tell us what they need. Now, I've been reading a wonderful book, the autobiography of Justice Sonia Sotomayor, and it's really a wonderful book. Towards the end, she writes, quote, "Whenever I make a new friend, my mind goes naturally to the question, what can I learn from this person? There are very few," she continues, "there are very few people in this world whom you can't learn something from, but even rarer are those souls who can reveal whole worlds to you if you observe them carefully." Unquote. So knowing others, learning about whole worlds through other people's experience is, in my estimation, what life is about. So, as you guys go out into the world, I have no doubt that you're going to do amazing things. I'm so, so very happy for you all. If I could, I'd do a drawing for each and every one of you, because that's what I do for people that I like. Instead, I leave you with these words. Laugh a lot. Laugh at yourself. Laugh with others. Don't laugh at them. Don't be who others want you to be, and help others do the same. And listen deeply to yourself and to others. You'll be surprised what you hear and what you can do with what you hear. Thank you so much.
Thank you for those inspiring words, Liza. That was beautiful, wonderful. At this point, I'd like the marshals to prepare for the PhD candidates. As they prepare to set up, let me announce that the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Audiology, Doctor of Physical Therapy, Doctor of Education, Doctor of Musical Arts, Doctor of Nursing Practice, and Doctor of Philosophy will be recognized by Vice Provost for Graduate Education and Dean of the Graduate School, Kent D. Holsinger, and they will receive their diplomas from President Herbst. Once we have everything in place, will the candidates come forward as directed by the marshals? We'll proceed to that point.
Lauren D'Innocenzo. Kwanjon Howe. Brian Connolly. Piyumi Obesekara. Matthew Lamoureux. Susan Zator Herrick. Lin Shan Chiu. Alexis Elder. Rachel Volmer. Micah Bruce Davis. Cindy Gilson. Jongden Lee. Sanka Mutu Horu. Asiri Gunitalaka. Kelly Forney Stevens. Sumit Kumar. Christina Chiarelli Helminiak. Yvonne Patterson. Caroline Jacuba. Tatiana Rojas Ospina. Jeremy Wyatt. Bela Ostrak. Ruthann Marcus. Cynthia Frank. Mai Handala. Manal Abzur. Ahmed El Yaid. Tian Mi. Barrett Katuna. Miho Iwata.
Slow down a little.
Okay.
So see that line?
All right.
So just a little more pacing.
Okay.
We gotta wait. They're taking pictures.
Okay.
No, not too fast, but just pace it.
Okay.
A little slower, otherwise we're gonna have people all around there.
Okay. All right. Christine Zozula. So they'll just take our time. Robert Booth. Eric Njuki. Miché Arnold Lachaude. Svetan Svetanov. That was one I had to practice. Jeffrey Carlson. Archita Banik. Troy Helming. Nadia De Lima. Christine Dugan. Catherine Anderson. Carrie Thomas. Tingyu Zhou.
Perfect. Good pace. Good pace.
Okay. Hugh Cassidy. Lee Keen Koo. Chandi Witharana. Shayan Amadian. Mario Bocciaccio. Ludier Chang. Margaret Donahue. John Fed. Amy Elizabeth Hale. Lauren Elise Herlihy. Janine Dominguez. Lei Soon. Anna Shearburl Schur. Sally Valentino Drew. Somebody you know, obvious. Joshua Aaron Wilson. MEAG people. Ashley Oldham. Kate Zona. Jessica Dawes Behunyak. Caitlin Carr. Kelly Knock. Ava Troyo. Dimitrios Stampoulos. Hoysat Sayedi. Inoka Deshapriya. Prasmant Deskmuth. Ranjan Kamat. Matthew Shurin. Leanne Master Joseph. Lane Marie D'Souza. Michael Finigara. Laura Ann Thompson. John Doyle. Shu Lee. Ying Liu. Sujan Shrestha. Neil Spinner. Hui Chen. Kailing Zhang. Yashan John. Mauricio Gordillo. Justin Roller. Cha-Len Chang. Liang Dong. Franz Joseph Michael Pina Ronkert. Erica Kramer. Zengmin Shah. Vincent Palumbo. Kyle Crosby. Jenna Apicella. Colleen Munoz. Brittane Volk. Laura Kunzis. Kelly Pagnotta. Robert Huggins. Aaron Henry. Not too bad. Norman Massel. Jamie Machazek. MD Sma Al-Mamoun. Abigail Osei Asamu. Thomas Chesley Hart. Yan Su. Tianhen Wang. Rebecca Renfro Grimes. Derek Durain. Jay Duval. Jian Yang. Marcello Graziano. Vincent Alfred Pascual Ramirez. Allison Titong. Eric Bernstein. Edie Johanna Bautista. Jason White. Amy Hegeman Gazer. Stephanie D'Souza. Richard Galini. Samantha Goodrich. Yunsu Yu. Hao Shi. Zhao Zhao. Alexander Rieger. Jennifer Boyko. Valerie Pear. Che Guan. Kong Tong Wong. Julie Griggs. Lindsay Edwards. Petronella Stoltz. Ryan Caldwell. Lou Liu. Daniel Kelleher. Alex Baldenko. Stephanie Marie Bai. Erin Elizabeth Lazar. Heather Holly Habersat. Kristen Elizabeth Geisler. Jenna Elizabeth Hubbard. April Laurel LaBelle. Raymond Catrufo. Charlotte Bidwell Bacon. Abhinav Upadhyay. Michelle Alexander Curtis. Lalith Saman Kumara. Rajat Das. Lauren Maddock. Eric Foss. Susan Warao Gichuki. Ismahi Ba Bukhari. Andrew Oyer. Kelly McNamara. Yeah. Scott McCarthy. Austin Johnson. Thanks, Seda Davtian. Aaron Sullivan. Behan Duran. Madge Bus Frank. Carrie Ellen Briere. Laura Lewis. Cheryl L. Bell. Sushrut Vaidia.
Good job, Cheryl.
Brian Schmutz. Iskandar Arifin. Wait just a second. Leo Wang. You're just giving me his first name. Max Suntarak. James Hireen. Kyle Gerber. Ben Wicki. Sterling Saint. Farron Baltzer. Rob Pritchard. Thomas Casson. Michael Butler. Megan Bridget Brady. Jesse Lang. Abigail Estabrook. Nora A. Tarian. Elizabeth A. Leslie. Judy Chan. Sarah Cheftik. Lurshi Hay. Li Zhao. Amber West. Xingyuan Gang. Mamta Saxena. Louisa Kimball Baker. Sarah Choi. Gongyi Liao. Laura Cisneros. David Lambie. Eric Siroy. Tui Pham. I think we can go sit down. I'll call us back. Well, we do, I think he calls us back. Yeah, he'll ask me.
And stuff, we got that, and then we do the six here. We still got, yeah.
I usually escort the dean, so it's Tom now.
Yeah, Tom DeFranco, and then Del Sigley. I'm just waiting for them. Okay. At this point, will all the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Audiology, Doctor of Physical Therapy, Doctor of Education, Doctor of Musical Arts, Doctor of Nursing Practice, and Doctor of Philosophy please rise? And I call to the podium now Dr. Kenty Holsinger and Associate Dean Sandra M. Schefelis.
Dean Holsinger, as the representative of the graduate faculty, I have the honor to present these scholars. They have made significant contributions to knowledge and have met all requirements for this highest honor.
In recognition of your achievements in advanced study and your success in adding to the store of human knowledge, I welcome you to the Society of Scholars and declare that you are entitled to the degree of Doctor of Audiology, Doctor of Physical Therapy, Doctor of Education, Doctor of Musical Arts, Doctor of Nursing Practice, or Doctor of Philosophy with all the appropriate rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining to thereto.
Now the candidates for the 6th-year certificate in the NEAG School of Education will be recognized by Dean Thomas DeFranco, and they will receive their diplomas from Professor Bray and Department Head Sigley. Will the candidates please come forward as directed by the marshals?
Kimberly Lunda. Brittany Hackett. Katie Flynn. Israel Velez. Brianne Whitten. Jessica Wheel. Matthew Warner. Lee Piekos. Janice Edwards. Jennifer Grace Cherigotelis. Brandy Sagar Gaduri. John Briotti. Jelan Zenda. Christine Griswold. Heather Tamson. Joe White. Amy LaCare. Allison Lathrop. Megan Mahan. Jamal Hines. Ryan Cleary. David Kitzman. Maria Pastorelli. Ryan Broderick. Caroline Stepensky. Kelly Browse. Ryan McKenzie.
You should do this. You ready? Just tell me to stand up. I'll have them stand up. That's how I usually do. That's how I want to. No, I know. Usually I do. Okay. Will all the candidates for the 6th-year certificate in the NEAG School of Education please stand and remain standing?
Dean DeFranco, as the representative of the graduate faculty, I have the honor to present these candidates. They have satisfied all requirements for this advanced certificate in specialized areas of professional education.
To you who have completed advanced work in the NEAG School of Education beyond the master's degree, I declare that you are entitled to the 6th-year certificate with all the appropriate rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
And now, candidates for the degree of master will now be presented at the 2 tables here in the center of the arena. I will be calling the candidates to the floor in groups to be presented. Groups to my right will receive their diplomas from Dr. Kent E. Holsinger, Vice Provost and Dean of the Graduate School. Groups to my left will receive their diplomas from Sandra M. Sheffield, Associate Dean of the Graduate School. The names of the degree candidates in each group will be announced by the appropriate school or college dean or by a faculty member representing the degree program. Each will introduce him or herself before announcing the first name in the group. Are we ready? On my left side, Paula McCauley. announcers.
I am the Associate Dean from the School of Nursing.
Okay. And on my right side, Deepak Day.
I'm Associate Dean Deepak Day, representing and reading the names for College of Liberal Arts and Science students.
Wait. We need to switch order. No, we need to do business first.
Oh, really?
No, we can announce. Well, because that'll mess. If you want to do the order, that's fine. Doesn't matter. They're already here. Do them, and then we'll just go backwards. Let's start here.
You think I should lower it down? You think I should lower it down? Hold on. Zipeng Shi. Taibe Gadaki Malmiri. Courtney Michelle Lynch.
Jean Harrington.
Scott Patrick Morsiewski.
Nina Marie Graybon.
Elizabeth Rainey Golas.
Cassandra Serwinski.
Eleanor Reeds.
Tanisha Garris.
Danielle Walsh.
Monica Ronigan.
Devin Opsner.
Kristen Kolat.
Ivan Ferrero Ruiz.
Heather Jane McHugh.
Jesus Amadur Hernandez Cobo.
Heather Carter.
Elena Aranz Alonso.
Emily Woods.
Gabriela Marino.
Lizanne Doe.
Amy M. Fontaine.
Patricia Ramuglia.
Maria Sanchez Reyes.
Melissa Bohan Hollenbeck.
Lindsay Petit. Elizabeth Simpson.
Okay, next up on the left side is Dr. Gregory Wiedemann.
I'm Dean Gregory Wiedemann, and I'll be announcing the candidates for Master of Science in the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources.
Catherine Baker. Ashley Landwehr. Yesha Doshi. Andrea Chunga Silis. Carla Silva Muhammad. John Natalie. Veronica Ortiz.
Jocelyn Raja.
Trevor Korb.
Elizabeth Leahy.
Scottring. Laura Albanese.
Sang Soo Ha.
Robert Bucci.
Gary A. Simino.
Erica May Lorenza Del Villar.
Hoyen Yer.
Cameron Danielle Warren.
Anna Gabriela Murillo.
Ruth Marlene Hernandez. David Harris. Andrew McCardishian. Eleanor Cowley. Courtney Kinnable Badgett. Mary Shepherd. May Toscano.
I am Salome Rahim, Dean of the School of Social Work. I will be announcing candidates for the Master of Social Work in the School of Social Work.
Haesung Kang. Joy Hefner. Carrie Silver. Elizabeth Mary Rivera. Rebecca Ruito.
Abigail Vaca.
Christine Sexton.
Alexander Klein.
Brittany Schmar.
Kaya Fazolare.
Chuksin Chen. Zoe
Sharon.
Shah.
Sharon Romero Siopi.
Wanching Ma.
Ashley Balsano.
Eric Sanford.
Cami Dorantes.
Shin Mo.
Loveland Bogle.
Ailing Zhang.
Tiffany Douglas.
Robert W. Wishart.
Dolores Safar Darko.
Chelsea Bourne.
Vanya Macia Estes.
Christine Van Ness.
Geraldine R. Thames.
Timothy Raymond Bussey.
Ashley Jenks.
Jamie Kowalski.
Stephen Lloyd Douglas.
Angelo Arsenio Santos.
Jean Francis.
James Doker.
Melissa Pinto.
Benjamin Brewer.
Sarah Walker.
John Kelly.
Amy Giovanucci.
Maggie Sharbin.
Melissa Thompson.
Ben Fleby. Yuxing Ding. Zopeng Fu. Zinhuizi Fu.
I am Associate Dean Mei Wei, and I'll be announcing the names of the candidate for the degree of Masters of Engineering and Master of Science in the School of Engineering.
Ching Chen. Matthew Capozillo. Sure. Jing Zhang.
Yiqian Liu.
Huili Tang.
Hesum Fellenban.
Pauline Tacos.
Bada Elmeri.
Ryan Hall.
Sean Buckley.
Catherine Durant.
Sarah Morton.
Stasha S. Campbell.
John McKinnon.
Michael Rafton.
Nicholas Ospovich.
Eric
Adam
Nyquist.
Bergering.
Eric Nyquist.
Tulsi Patel. Gulia Badasara. Michael Harris. Amaruta Kokani. Jonathan Lusso.
Stop for a second. We're going to announce the School of Fine Arts.
I'm Breed Grant, Dean of the School of Fine Arts, and I'll be introducing students in music, arts, and fine arts.
Madeline Sola. Gayatri Srinivasa. Mohammed Al-Magari. Jinxin Sun. Srinivasa Brahma.
Nathaniel Baker. Sarah Caulfield.
Dong Zhao.
Michael Black.
Caitlin Logo.
Sachen Joe.
Joseph Cadring.
Tiffany Delegati.
Zibin Zhao.
Jason Wadecki.
Arij Al-Sabati.
Sean Nihu.
Srilaya Mopidevi.
Marissa Valletta.
Muni Sankavaram.
Samaya Gafarnia.
Eduardo Ryan.
Nicole Graziano.
Juliana Angra.
John Colby Lewis.
Karen Tabada.
William Hayden.
Urania Michael.
Anthony Goes.
Meet Padel.
Olivia Danielle Sacomano.
Nitish Mature.
Sarah Josephine Wintermeyer.
Sahil Moledina.
Matthew Bowman.
Steve Christman.
James Thomas Gelkin.
Judy Harding.
Doric Bukowski.
Lucia Acholano. Namel Vandivel. Christopher Kalasa. Christopher Chuck. Zhitong Fei. Rahul Narayan.
Ready to go? Okay. I am Peter Diplock, Assistant Vice Provost, and I'll be reading the names of the candidates for the degree of Master of Professional Studies. Okay.
Pavanay Fazali.
You're all at the top row.
Meng Long Guan.
You're going to have to go help him.
Daniel Bodland.
Yep.
Kimberly Kittinacker.
I will. It's once I get the first one out. Okay.
Evelyn Orozco.
Okay. They often do. How you doing? Okay. Nikisha Griffin Bello.
Christine Virgo.
Andrea Wright.
Jasprit Manku.
Esther Neufeld.
Michael Hiza.
Everton Edmondson Jr.
Christopher Tabas.
Jessica Carraro.
Madison Toba.
Jacqueline Depkowitz.
Karam Chidu.
Doa Amar.
Purvas Sambag.
Joanna Muskowska.
Yanqing Zheng.
Nana Okran.
Ricky Anguera.
Marcus Tyrone Estes Sr.
Ignacio Tocmsini.
Gerald Philip Timoney Jr.
Alessandro Pamire.
Zachary Woodrow Townsend.
Eduardo Payares.
Lynn Bousquet.
That's good.
I am Dean Thomas DeFranco, and I will be announcing the names of the candidates for the degrees of Master of Arts and Master of Science in the NEAG School of Education.
And I'm John Elliott, Dean of the School of Business, and I will be announcing the names of the candidates for the MBA degree and the Master of Science in Business.
Mary Murphy.
David Firer.
Sarah Piazza.
Robert Shedre.
Shelby Flynn.
Jessica Hoffman.
Matthew Farrell.
George Karwinski.
Abigail Condon.
Preston Noon.
Chelsea Boucher.
Daniel Daimio.
Samantha Kerbin.
Swati Chakara.
Brittany Moulton.
Sameh Hagag.
Lisa Capialba.
Mauricio Montoya.
Brooke Doyon.
Matthew Salzman.
Gordon Mugath.
Tugba Onder.
Danielle Ruderman.
Miguel Angel Lopez.
Cheryl Cunningham.
Udip Gujurel.
Amanda Jennings.
Wei Zong.
Lindsay Borg.
Jonathan Combs.
Brianna Grimma.
Jane Loss.
Karen Hutchings.
Jake Okenberg.
Jennifer Burke.
Robert G. Canning Jr.
Julian Schaefer.
Andrew Michelson.
Alyssa Pepe.
Murali Kuchinopio.
Caitlin Smith.
Matt Zaleta.
Holly Ordway.
John Cody.
Quinn Osterman.
Kimberly Phillips.
Owen Sandoval.
Michelle Cahill.
Jacob Skirpick.
Elisa Hucko.
Joseph Laux Williamson, Jr.
Christine Emser.
Sarah Griffith.
James Coteres.
M. Charles Stronensky.
Christopher Gaito.
Stephen Bach.
Juliana Ullman.
Nicole Yaxis.
Rami Rafoil.
Erin Halloran.
Raymond Boyd.
Lauren Belloc.
Elliot Diesenhouse.
Ashley Clapp.
Paul Morachi.
Amy Ear.
Kipapasaro, Angela Anitayana.
Chelsea Connery.
William Ripley.
Kelly Macco.
Brandon Gildani.
Jonathan Bruno.
Vijay Kundu.
Shane Anderson.
Ronald Peterson.
Kristen Carocha.
Rafael Oleksak.
Colleen Virgil.
Daria Lusakowski.
Jeremy Kraus.
Pornpong Lupong Apompong.
Brian Barrington.
Jin Wang.
Christopher Wasco.
Michael Maxka.
Mary Elizabeth Bartolata.
Maria Bordeaux.
Christina Nadeau.
Caleb McNamara.
Kayla Crystal.
Crystal Bruyere.
Caitlin Milliken.
Tiffany Betts.
Jessica Cardamone.
William Armstrong.
Susan Billarjon.
Jennifer Bui.
Sarah Bentley.
Louisa Ritan.
Chelsea Gamble.
Panga Perne.
Caitlin Wright Cooper.
Jason Todd Eisman.
Melissa Perko.
Tony Navarro.
Paul Hills.
Michelle Coate.
Mary Demare.
Jonathan LaPlante.
Carolyn Lowe.
Danielle Carpiano.
Allison Lamp.
Aubrey Schmidt.
Andrew Fosher.
Nita Drakatos.
Jonathan Brown.
Jason Darmofal.
Travis Marciniak.
Gregory Lancaster.
Brian James Ewing.
Allison Hanna.
Jillian Dobis.
Daniel Echegoyen.
Ali McNamara.
Russell Carson.
Danielle Checo.
Buck Steele.
Jennifer Bubniak.
Stephen Ratner.
Lauren Niesing.
Lauren Moran.
Savannah Cleveland.
Lisa Rita Tuma.
Daniel Nguyen.
Christina Pantalero.
Christine Sansucci.
Jill Sapanoff.
Brendan Giolito.
Juliana Carrillo.
Jody Barry.
Allison Lasco.
Rebecca Brooks.
Christine Turner.
Jessica Gagne.
Gina Garcon.
Lisa Cavell.
Michael McFarland.
Alexa Moak.
Matthew Erickson.
Paul Stella.
Natalia Vorobets.
Jessica Rogatiane.
Patrick Benjamin Lee.
Dana Cutler.
Gopi Mendon.
Jillian Yaz.
Ameya Nirpase.
Christine Idirola.
Nikita Palkar.
Megan O'Brien.
Karishma Patel.
Megan Elise Staines.
Minnie Fu. Good.
Kelly Marshall.
Yidan Hu.
Whitney Wadecki.
Shu Wong.
Catherine Farley.
Haifai Ma.
Karen Hursty.
Minglu Tang.
Jennifer Rego Gonsalves Delaney.
Zhenhua Luan.
Nina Davis Millis.
Nimisha Rathor.
Kristen Tupance.
Neil DeMello.
Lisa Machedo.
Nina Kasi. Niga Garimali.
Lisa Brand.
Christian Acuna.
Jessica Borges.
Raymond Kulkarni.
Sarah Smith.
Anara Pathi.
Holly Corona.
Shrishti Sarin.
Charlene Da Silva.
Amanda Bonelli.
Ashley Bayard.
He Yao. Zhen Mei Shen.
Christina Park.
And Kita Sinha.
Margaret Secklin.
Nupur Gandhi.
Amy Oe.
Eileen Bonetti.
Lindsay Volts.
Yul Feng.
Jessica Cedillo.
Jose Salzar.
Catherine Schneider.
Eric Johnson.
Mark Jenkins Jr.
William Stewart.
Laura Lackenbach.
Evan Sung Lee.
Matthew Danger Fuller.
Chia Chen Emma Nien.
Emma Smith.
Chenye Zhang.
Laura Guerrera.
Wai Dai.
Andrea Delodo.
Hong Su.
Bridget O'Connor.
Dimitri Sherman.
Megan Gallo.
Zichao Jin.
Tyler Wolfson.
Nikaya Duvier.
Rose Murphy.
Yan Zhao.
Julie McGarry.
Mingwan Zhang.
Drew Puig.
Yujin Liu.
Michelle Lanowette.
Yichao Wang.
Jesse Maladuangdak.
Jianchun Ma. You bet.
Danielle McDermott.
Mercy Adang.
Adam Sterzala.
Rodrigo Toledo.
Emily Webster.
Yucho Wang.
Stephanie Kleins.
Kaishi Hu.
Deanna Dempsey.
Yi Liao.
Samantha Scarnio.
Jinky Sun.
Walter
Lian
Trisdale.
Wang. Night school there. Ricky Livingston.
June Hashiwaki.
Kaya Gao.
Jarrett Sorge.
Willikor Sozar.
Saad Ahmad Tour.
Rashid Grier.
Alexander Zabo.
Ryan James Mattern.
Jennifer Shields.
Thomasand Thomas.
Katie Berry.
Alina Shahid.
Cassie Dene.
Sheet Dean.
Melissa Augustin.
Anu Wadwa.
Justin Michaud.
Yan Zhu.
Ronaldo Dinez Jr.
Faye Shai.
Ryan Piro.
Nailing Su.
Kevin Fagella.
Padma Shimakandada.
Jessica Slater.
Megan Blashke.
Melanie Gillis.
Varun Kumar Suresh Kumar.
Kayla Williams.
Seth Daniel Powers.
Don Long.
Christopher J. Henner.
Stephanie Morana.
Sarah Jeffrey.
Jennifer Malerba.
Donna Nepomuceno.
Susan Fabrizio.
Scott David Anderson.
Jacqueline Amendola Turpin.
Pedro Inigo.
Gilbert Valencia.
Mary Ferris.
Danielle Ann Socius.
Charles Janexco III.
Sean Washart.
Victoria Machado.
Corey Luker.
Kelly Mimina.
Matthew Paravoti.
Jason Cordero.
Gregory M. Sember Jr.
Brian Ajada.
Anthony Guerrera.
Romit Patel.
Heather Catherine Smith.
Andrea Leberger.
Sheena Gordon.
Jay Dave.
Miralinda Dena.
Daniel Stein.
Virginia Cipolla.
Candace Seibert.
Ian Meekin.
Rosemary Sherman.
Brian Thomas McCleary.
Mitchell Russo.
Casey Smith.
Nabil Amirzane.
Louisa Bodie.
Marcin Baran.
Katie Vicentin.
Ahmed Mohammed Al-Qadeh.
Daniel Bazul.
Matthew Williams Bradford.
Jesse Viga Rosario.
Jana Stonik.
Mark Chouvet.
Brian Robert Pulford.
Heather Quinion.
Thank you.
Laverne Greer. Kyle Fuslow. Andrew Spargo. Tiffany Almeida. Jeremy Zurell. Matthew DeBacco. Jonathan Graziano. Alexander Pineres Ojeda. Chelsea Laura Mitchell. Tyler Banville.
Okay, all the candidates that are receiving their diploma covers at this point, Please do not leave the building, because if you do, you will not be officially awarded your master's degree. That doesn't occur for a few minutes, so please remain in your seats. Thank you.
Tom Sheridan. Stephen Nunes. Julie Trosky. Kaylee LaCava. Mark Bilodeau. Amanda Avery. Rebecca Galen. Ashley Lanz. Amber Gresh. Catherine Egan. Dylan Smith. Christian Shirtleft. Shane Munoz. Jonathan McGlynn. Peter Brooks. Melissa Brill. Colin Usher. Lucia Roberts. Daniel Cooper. Stephen Winters. Matthew Delaney. Alyssa Seville. And Kelsey Halverson.
Thank you. Now, at this time, will all the candidates for the master's degree please rise? I call to the podiums the Dean of the Graduate School, Kent E. Holsinger, and Associate Dean Sandra M. Chafulias.
All right, Dean Holsinger, I have the honor to present these candidates for the rank of Master of Arts, Master of Business Administration, Master of Dental Science, Master of Engineering, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Music, Master of Professional Studies, Master of Public Administration, Master of Public Health, Master of Science, or Master of Social Work.
To you who have made significant progress in learning and give promise of further achievement, I declare that you are entitled to the ancient rank of Master, with all the appropriate rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
And now will all candidates for all degrees and for the 6th year certificate please rise as I welcome President Herbst to the platform to confer degrees and certificates. President Herbst.
Thank you. This is almost the end. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the trustees of the University of Connecticut, and in accordance with the procedures and regulations of the university, I confer upon you the degree of master or doctorate or the 6th year certificate for which you have been presented at the 135th commencement of the university. To those men and women whose achievements have today been recognized, I extend the congratulations of the faculty, staff, trustees, and officers of the university. I ask you to discharge the responsibilities of your new status and to enlarge upon the foundations of knowledge which you have acquired. On behalf of our entire university, congratulations to all of our graduates and your families. We wish you the best of luck for the future. Thank you.
And now to all the mothers in the audience, I hope that your sons and daughters will wish you a happy Mother's Day tomorrow. At this point, I would like to thank Lauren Douglas and Angela Salcedo, who's our organist, the Herald Trumpeters, the graduate school staff, facility staff, event staff, co-op, commencement committee, processional marshals, and everyone who helps make this event possible. And now the ceremony will be concluded with recession of the faculty administration. Will the graduates and members of the audience please remain seated until the recession is completed.